Today I want to talk about one of the most powerful features for the data team within Veezoo. And this is MetaVeezoo. This is the tool that gives the data team a complete oversight of how the users are actually using the solution. So if you have like Veezoo rolled out thousands of users, they're using it every day, they're asking questions. You want to know kind of what answers they're getting. Are they getting quick answers? What kind of questions are they asking? Which users are asking many questions so that you as a data team can actually be proactive instead of reactive. So if I switch now to Veezoo, you saw in the previous videos that we kept asking like a lot of different questions down here, like show the 10 customers with most orders. And in some of the videos, we also ask questions about concepts that maybe were not yet in the knowledge graph, that were not yet really configured or added here. But how does the data team actually figure this out? The data team has here this knowledge graph called MetaVeezoo. And this knowledge graph, if we take a look at the visual representation, it's actually Veezoo on top of the Veezoo log data. So you can see all the questions that are being asked by the users. You can see on which knowledge graph they're asking the question, which user asked the question, obviously, when they logged in, how often they logged in, what kind of dashboards people have, how often these are being viewed, how long a question takes to answer, and as well, like if the user gave a feedback on an answer that they received, or if in the question there were maybe certain terms that were not yet recognized. So if I close this visual mode here again and take a look at the dashboard, I can see that on this organization that I've created here for this video series, we had 18 logins so far. There were 178 questions that have been asked, and here you can see kind of also over the month of December, like on which date, how many questions were asked. And you can also see here that I sometimes pre-recorded some of the videos for certain days. And I can just say, hey, show me questions from this week. And I immediately get the list. You can see the text here, the query that was generated, and I could also like display, for instance, the SQL duration. So there we see how long actually the query took. I could also just say, hey, what's the average SQL duration? And we see that we're actually getting pretty quick answers currently. And something that is very interesting that I can also ask about the unrecognized concepts. So I could say, hey, how many questions are there by unrecognized concept text? And you can see that there were some questions that were around boomers, new, AOV. So this is when users were asking about an AOV, but this term hasn't yet been defined in the knowledge graph. It will give the user a warning, hey, I'm not entirely sure what you mean by AOV, but here's potential answer. And the data team, they can see in here, they can in here see the actual questions that the user that has asked them. So there's like, what's the AOV? Here the user is anonymized, but we can also configure it to actually display it. And this way you can really achieve data democratization as at scale, because you know the whole time what your organization is actually analyzing, what they're querying, and on a need to know basis, you can also then extend your knowledge graphs and put more data to the knowledge graph. And I think this way you will have your users will have a great experience.